guys, a very warm welcome to Motorhoming Adventures.
Motorhoming Adventures.
Absolutely, this is our new channel, and the old one being...
It was Offshore and Onshore Adventures, but here we're going to bring you all things motorhoming, the UK, Europe, further afield, who knows.
Absolutely, and we'll also be bringing across some of our original films that are on our old channel, all motorhoming films of course, and we'll be bringing them onto this channel so you don't miss out.
Absolutely, yeah. So stay tuned. All things motorhoming, technical, trips, travels, you name it. It's great to have you along.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you enjoy the channel, please do subscribe.
Oh, of course. Please do subscribe. And of course, the odd like is good too.
Thank you. Hi guys, once again, a very warm welcome back to Offshore and Onshore Adventures. So, we had this debate whether to get shade or not to get shade for the summer.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And we thought about it long and hard. And in the end, we both decided that we would get some shade.
Yes,
yeah.
Because being a redhead or rapidly losing red hair, when I go in the sun, my head goes a bit like a beetroot if I'm not undercover. So we thought with France and Spain this year, we better protect the Swede a bit more if we're lounging around by the van. So anyway, we've got something in the garage that we need to go and get opened and show you. Join us. So, look what has arrived today in the garage. It's the just fitting in Fiamma awning. Time to unbox and see what we've got. I think it's parcel 1 of 2, so I think we've got some other bits coming separately. But there it is, that's the 4.25 metre. It's got a white casing and its canopy is royal grey, as you can see from the colour there. So, got to get it unboxed, and then we've got to have a look up there. You can just see the brackets that are supplied by Mobilvetta, or by Mobilvetta fitting. You can see one just up the back there, and then there's a second one, and then a third one up near just above the hand door there. So those 3 are the ones that come ready fitted to the van, together incidentally with the fittings as well here for the bike rack. We didn't opt for a bike rack because, as you've probably seen if you've seen some of the other films, the bikes go in the garage, fit nicely in there. So today we're going to have to explore what's in the box and start to digest some instructions and work out how we're going to get it up on the roof and get it fitted. Got the rain guard on order as well, tie down straps, so that will hopefully A, cover the rain issue, but B, also help with the tie down stuff that we got as part of the deal. Should help to keep it secure when in use. So let's get it unboxed. And we actually bought the F80s awning together with those other bits and pieces, the tie down straps, the fixings to go into the feet, the extra fixings that is. We bought them from DC Camper Sales. Had a good old look round, as you do, on Google to look for the most competitive price once we had decided on the Fiamma F80 and the 4.25 metres. And DC Camper Sales, who are based in Cheshire, they were the most competitive for that product at that time, and we were searching in January, February 2022, so well worth a try, and our thanks to them. Did us a good deal with it, and excellent service. Shipping was swift, and many thanks to DC Camper Sales for their assistance. And you can just see that through the packaging. This one is the Fiamma F80s. and I'll put on the screen shortly the type of bracket that was factory fitted when we bought the van. I think the name of it, which is specific to the Mobilvetta K-Yacht, the name of it is Arca, the bracket, which is the Fiamma bracket that needs to go on the van to enable this to be fixed. Arca, A-R-C-A. Then underneath they've got this extra little box which looks like the fittings. So let's just pop that one open. And there we go. So you've got the extra rafter there by the looks of it, which I think is the middle rafter that this one needs when it goes over, when it gets to 4.25 metres or beyond. Or I think it's 4 metres and beyond, it gets the extra rafter as part of the deal. And then the winding handle and one or two other bits and pieces, plus of course the all-important instructions. So, and that's the pack opened up. Instruction leaflet, looks like some holders for the winding pole. That looks, it's like a bit of soft foam that goes on the winding pole as well, to protect the area right up near the winder on the cassette itself, so that your winding pole doesn't damage the side of the van. These obviously pegs for the legs to hold them down. That's the rafter. These bits are if you were going to fit, if the legs were going to go to the side of the van, you can probably just see the picture there. So if instead of the legs coming down vertically into the ground, there's an option where you can take the leg back and then fit some brackets on the side of your vehicle, so that the legs actually slide into those, and that's what this spare pack is. So obviously we're not going to use that option on ours. And then separately, which has also just arrived today, got some tie downs for when the awning is out. That just goes up through the framework, and then a bit like guy ropes, I guess. There you go, see a diagram just there, it shows you how they work. And some extra pegs which can be actually screwed into the ground with a cordless drill or similar. That was separate to the main awning, but a useful addition just in case it got a bit windy. And finally, the rain guard, which goes between the awning and the roof of the van, stops the rain coming down the sort of side of the van on the inside of where your awning would be. So we've got to work out how that fits on as well. The spacing, incidentally, they say that the brackets for the actual support should be wide enough so that when it goes on the roof it lines up with the word support that's on the side of the cassette, the awning cassette. There are 3 stickers on the side, one in the middle, and then these end ones. And the distance apart, just for your information, so I've got the tape starting from the centre of the word support, going right up the other end, and the distance to the centre of those 2 stickers there, you can see on the tape there, is about 3510 or 3520 millimetres between those 2. So this is a 4.25 cassette. So when you're fitting those brackets to the side of the van up there, ready for the cassette, then the centres want to be at about 3520 millimetres for the 4.25 cassette. They say that this one, the one at this end and the one right up at the far end, that measurement has to line up with the word support. The bracket does have to line up to ensure the strength and integrity of its fitting, and they say that the middle one is obviously best in the middle, but it's not as important as the measurement for the 2 outside ones. So that's just for info, and your measurement there that you need to be looking at for your fixing brackets. And here we are on the roof of the van, so there's the profile of the bracket that is supplied, ready fitted, with the mid one there, and then the far end up the top there. So we've just got to work out whether we've got the right fixings. May need to get a couple of bolts to fit the brackets onto here, but next job will be to offer it up and just see, make sure everything is in the right position. So what you can see there, what we've done is, Stephen, say hello. What we've done is we've offered it up to the roof just to make sure that the brackets that were supplied are in the right place. And what you'll see, I'll just take my glove off. What you'll see there is there's the this is the original bracket, and this is the first part of the awning. So what we now need is a steel plate that gets bolted into this decent piece of steel, and the piece of steel then laps across, starts on the bracket, laps across onto this part of the awning, and therefore bolts it down and stops it coming back out of the groove. Okay, so then we've got the fixings themselves. Got these brackets that loop over the ridge on the back here once it's on, which will be clearer once I've got them up there. They supply these little M6s together with the nylocks. Show you where those go. These ones here, these longer screws, they would be if you were fitting the brackets on the van from the start, but obviously as you've seen, the brackets came already fitted to the vehicle when we bought it. We just didn't get any of the rest of this stuff. As I say, probably in a drawer somewhere at Marquis. They just forgot to give it to us, so I've had to source these Fiamma bits, and we've then got to, or now got to, get them marked up and get the brackets that are up on the van drilled, so that the bracket can then be secured with these, and then the nylocks. The remaining screws, these three little ones here, of which they've only supplied, as I say, three, are for these holes here. They're self-tappers, and they obviously have only supplied enough for one per bracket, even though they've supplied two holes. So I've probably got some kicking around in the garage to double up, obviously, and add the second one. So those are the basic fixings. Let's have a look at the roof then, and you'll see what I mean about having now to drill them in. And here you go, there's a reminder, we've got the brackets already fitted, top, middle, and then one behind me. This is the middle one. So you'll see here, just there, that there's like a groove underneath here. Now that obviously is exactly the right size to take the M6 nylock, which would obviously go upside down and then feed into that gap there. So we can just put that in, there you go. So it slides into that channel and is held in that channel the right way up. It's about there at the moment. So I've got a long screwdriver to obviously push it down as and when I've drilled the holes. The absolute key thing though, and you'll see already I've got a pencil mark just on there, is to get the exact halfway point on that channel, so that when I drill through halfway along here, it'll meet that nut, which is in the channel. So obviously that's the really key bit, is getting your drill hole in the right place. The channel itself is 10mm wide, so that pencil mark just there is exactly 5mm. I've then drawn a line, you can just see faintly there, that's the 5mm line. So and this will obviously just then line up there. So you can see how there's nothing really to guide you as to where exactly, apart from the line that I've then drawn just along here, to make sure I get exactly that halfway point in the channel. So I'll mark up the bracket there, and then hopefully we'll get those two holes drilled in. And then so that's with the two holes drilled. Okay, I swapped from the screwdriver because the handle was too big, and I just used a bit of cable to push the little M6 nylock into position. If you probably look on the hole there, you can just about see the threads of the nylock that's obviously been slid in down the channel there. So fingers crossed that all stays in place, but they seem to line up okay. Now for the last bracket, once we're drilled, we'll offer up the awning itself and just see if we can get those these first plates on to start securing it in place. And incidentally, the drill bit, I've got a brand new drill bit, because obviously you want to start off by a fair bit of downward pressure to keep it right on your mark there. Fair bit of down pressure and then a really slow speed to start with, so that it starts to bite. So I've got a new drill bit, so it's lovely and sharp, and therefore gets that initial bite that keeps your holes in the right position. But yeah, don't go in too quick. Another reason not to go in too quick, obviously, is that as you go, as the drill bit starts to go through the metal itself, then obviously the fluting on the drill bit will then drag the drill bit in really quickly, and of course underneath you've got the roof of the van, so you don't want to be getting your drill bit dragged straight in and damaging damaging the roof of the van underneath. So really slow and steady, take it very steady going in, and then just as it starts to break through, ease right back, and just make sure that you don't go through. Obviously it's coming in at an angle like that, but it still will drag it in quick enough to catch the top of the van. Okay, so so we've offered up the awning here. See, it's up on the van now. It's slotted into the slots here. That's the support stickers that they put at each end and in the middle. So their instruction being that the word support should feature on this bracket, so that you've got them positioned in the right place. But as I say, these were put on by Marquis Motorhomes, so I was hoping they're in the right place, which they are. So there's the two, those are the M6 bolts now. They've gone into the M6 nuts that were slid down those channels, you remember, and then this is where the self-tappers now go, just to they've only supplied a single self-tapper for each bracket, but then they'll go straight into the awning itself, the little sort of 6mm jobs, and help to additionally secure it, as well as these bolts with the nylocks. So that's the bracket setup, guys. Okay, so you can see we're now on the far end, just above the habitation door of the van. You can see the sticker there with the just the back end of the word support, so we're spot on their positioning for the bracket. Bolts are tweaked up, not crazily tight, but I've gone in fairly tight with those, plus a bit of lock nut glue, and then self-tappers here, but I've just done a little pilot with a little 3mm metal drill bit, just to get them started. That one's in, and we're just going to pop the other one in, double up on each one rather than the single ones that they gave, that they supplied with the kit. And finally the middle one, so doubled up on the self-tappers, straight into the awning itself, and everything now fitted. There's the far end over the garage door. 4.25 metres in total we are, and this, as you'll remember, is the F80s Fiamma awning. As you can see here, the gap under here is where I'm going to fit the rain guard. Cut it into sections between each of the brackets here, and then fit it underneath here, so that it provides that little bit of cover from the water coming under there, and then down the side of the van, particularly of course over the hab door and habitation door, that sort of area. So that will be the next bit. So there's a look at just the profile, just a small piece of the rain guard. It's obviously squishy foam. It's got a peel off backing here. One place they suggest it goes is just sort of in line with the front edge of the bracket, which would mean it going sort of about there all the way along, which for me would have put I'd have probably had to compress this front edge too much. It obviously varies, I'm sure, from vehicle to vehicle, because this profile is for a number of different vehicles. So if I were to put it sort of where one of their diagrams suggests, which, as I say, in line with these brackets underneath, I think the compression necessary to push it down, squidge it down enough, would have meant that it would have been very difficult to get this located accurately in the front grooves, which is obviously a much more important part than fitting this. So the place once we had done the test, put it up here as a test before we actually fitted it, I had a look at putting it down the back here. So there you see one option which I'm going to go for, which is to put it in down the back here and then just compress it down and slide it in, and then potentially it wedges in pretty well there, and then potentially we could either get the backing paper off, or I can just lift up the edge, put a dab of some sort of mastic glue under there just to hold it in place, not all the way along, just on a few places along the back here. So I think that for me is a better fit on this vehicle, to squeeze it in under there. It gets a really good compression, it goes in very tight, and should serve to just do what it was sort of designed to do, really, which is just withhold some of the water that you'd get coming underneath here and then down the van. But albeit it's never going to rain on us, not in France or Spain, for goodness sake. But may do in Pembrokeshire. Well, okay, there we go. So I've just cut it to length, compressed it, pushed it under this back edge here, and then dabbed a little bit of super glue sort of every 300ml just to hold it, rather than take off the backing paper, because by leaving the backing paper on, it meant that I could slide it under there a lot easier. Fits very well, I think, for this van, and for the way they've set up the brackets here, then that was probably the better place for it, rather than, as I say, a bit further forward, which was one of their suggestions. But I think it's very much specific to where your brackets are, what the vehicle is, what you've got left in terms of space under here. But it seems to fit under here really well, and it's really jammed in there tight. So fingers crossed it doesn't disappear when we first go down the motorway. So we've now got left, we've got the handle, the winding handle, this one, and then this bit, that's the extra rafter that's supplied for this one, because it's 4.25 meters. They supply the extra rafter, which once the awning is fully out, it clips into the middle of the awning from the van to the furthest point out, and it's got this little screw here which just obviously allows you to extend it. It's telescopic, so it allows you to extend it, get it clipped in, and then tighten down this so that the rafter stays in position. That's that bit. They also obviously supply for the rafter itself, with the kit, was a couple of little brackets here that with some self tappers if you wanted to fit it onto the inside of the van somewhere for storage. And similarly, they've also got they also supplied these two little clips here, which are obviously for the winding handle if you wanted to fit them somewhere inside the van. But the handle and the rafter sort of stow at the back of our garage, behind some of the existing picnic table and chairs and stuff like that. So they actually, I'm probably at this stage not gonna fit them on the back wall, because they slide down the back pretty well at the back of the garage. In terms of fitting and fitting kit, which you'll see when we get the thing put up, is some tie down straps. They've got some extra long sort of nail stroke peg type things with the with these bits for the head of the nail, so it allows them to be hooked out of the ground easier. We also got a kit which involves these different bolts, 8 long, 8 short, some extra feet that go on the bottom of the legs, could go over the top of the existing legs, the base, so that it allows you to screw down through these holes. With it, obviously, these extra bits as well, again for strengthening and or pulling back out. This bit actually fits on the this bit actually fits on the top of each one, and you can actually add this. You can actually fit that into a drill driver, similar to this sort of head. It'll slip into there on the drill driver or onto a drill if you wanted to actually fire them in with a bit of battery power. Otherwise, it would be a case of using these handles, obviously, to turn it and wind them into the ground. So those are the bits and bobs, and we're about there now. That's it with it fitted. It goes over for you fellow Mobilvetta owners. You'll see that bit there is the sort of one of the joins in the van. It goes over that. I haven't modified that bit at all. It just slid over that perfectly, and it doesn't move. It's not tight or anything. Also got this bit of foam. This bit of foam, random piece of round foam, fits on the pole here, so you separate it here just by loosening off that screw, taking that section back out, and then we'll slide this on here, work it up to about here. As you can see, this is the bit that loops into the wind out bracket on the awning itself. This bit positions itself just about there, and the reason it's there is that as this comes hooks into your awning, just where the roof of the van curves over, if you were to catch the roof as you were winding it, then this bit of foam gives that protection to the roof itself, so that if you did touch the roof with the as you were furiously winding away, then it would protect the surface of the van. You'll see that a lot easier though once we've got it fitted and we're unwinding the awning. So there we go, folks. If you've got any questions about it or any observations about it, then feel free to stick it in the comments below. Any questions you have about the fitting or that, or the process that we've done. And then what I'll do next, our next trip away is next week. We're off down to Devon, and we'll go through putting it out there, how we fix it down, and give some of those Fiamma products a try, those bolts that fix down into the ground and those sort of bits, and the guy ropes, see how it all comes together, so get its first test run. So see you next down in Devon. Right guys, hopefully that was of some use. We're fingers crossed that it stays on the roof when we head off to Devon, where we're going to give it a test. So look out for part 2 of the film, which is going to be pegging it out, unwinding it, putting the extra rafter in, and generally getting to know the F80s awning.
Yeah, I look forward to sitting under it while you're doing the barbecue.
Yes.
Is that a good deal?
Yes, it is only March, but you never know. There might be barbecue weather.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Thanks ever so much, guys, for watching, and until the next one, we'll see you very soon. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.